Hello, Professor Gill. I'm Haribabu Kilari, DLN student of class EMGT500. I selected Managing Emerging Customer Segment topic from Prahlad's green board presentation. Before talking about emerging customer segments, let's see the statistics around the world. Analyze the various customer segments. See the global wealth pyramid in this slide, and let's focus on highest customer segments. The bottom of the pyramid is built up with 70% of the adults around the world who has the wealth less than $10,000. If you combine the bottom two, it's add up 92% of the older adults, and most of them from emerging markets like India, China and Brazil, and their total wealth is less than $100,000. So there is a huge customer base at the lower two levels compared to the top two levels. Even though top levels are millionaires, but if the average spending of the bottom levels increases, then the overall spending will be increased enormously. Let's see the regional membership of global wealth strata. If you see the diagram here, it is covering the various countries on the globe with the wealth ranges. If you consider the North America, the people with less than $10,000 is even less than 5%, and the people with more than $1 million is greater than 50%. So North America, we have USA, Canada, the developed countries, but if you consider same for the Africa, the people with greater than $1 million is not even 1%, whereas people with less than $10,000 are almost 20%. So in these countries, the people spending capability is less, but we have the huge population. And here one more interesting thing is emerging markets have huge population with the less money, but in this century thinking of people changing. It may be due to internet, it may be due to the sophisticated equipments, it may be due to the electronic gadgets, but the thinking of the average common person is changing, and yesterday's luxury is today's need for the emerging markets, and today's luxury is tomorrow's need. Customers from emerging segments may compromise the luxury but not the needs. If everyone look for their needs and you have the huge customer base, then the spending will automatically increases and it will create the huge market opportunity. Let's see the most important factor of the emerging countries, which is the growth rate. The growth rate of top two emerging countries, India and China, is as twice as compared to the rest of the world. So the needs and opportunities are growing in the same proportion. That is why MNCs are entered and few are still entering into the emerging markets. Emerging Asian economies are changing rapidly. As per the Credit Suisse Research Institute's latest report, Asia in Transition, emerging Asian economies are changing rapidly with the region's share of global economic output set to reach 55% by 2050. The region's equity and corporate bond markets are on course to assume 30% of global share by 2030. Economic and investment activities is undergoing a period of multifaceted, swift, and exciting transition. Till now, I explained the customer base, scope of business, potential market share of emerging markets. Let's focus on some key advantages of emerging markets. The very first one is cost. Developer wages or salaries are low in the emerging markets as compared to the developed countries. Population. So population is high in the emerging countries, but it's a good advantage because high level of tech-savvy millions who are likely adapt mobile applications are readily available. Education. Few excellent educational systems. Let's think about the Eastern Europe. They can tackle complex software such as security. And we do have some successful business models, the trailblazers like India's Infosys, China's Alibaba, South Korea's Samsung, etc. So, do the MNCs or management need the new strategies in emerging markets? Let's see. So, what is the strategy to entering markets? Most companies have stuck to the strategies they have traditionally deployed because they give the success in developed countries, which emphasize standardized approach to new markets while sometimes experimenting the few local twists. As a result, many MNCs are struggling to develop successful strategies in emerging markets. Let's take an example here. Car is a need in USA, but it is luxury in emerging markets like India. But there are advantages, but automakers have huge technological developments in USA compared to emerging markets, and automakers get cheap labor, less manufacturing cost, government subsidies in the emerging countries. But if they expect volumes like USA, it's not possible in emerging countries because for most of them, as I said, car is still a luxury but not a need. If US car makers want to sell same cars in India, it is very difficult because they are pricey for them. Therefore, car makers need different strategies to sustain. If Western companies don't develop strategies for engaging across their value chains with developing countries, they are unlikely to remain competitive for long term. Successful companies develop strategies for doing business in emerging markets that are different from those they use at home and often find novel ways of implementing them too. So emerging market entry strategies need to address a mix of several business issues, regulatory challenges, because every country has different regulatory challenges, need for local partners. Few countries may not allow 100% of investments from the foreign countries. Product customization. As I said, emerging markets, the spending power is less, so the same product which is available in developed countries may not work every time in emerging markets. Infrastructural developments, robust business planning, and competition from local players. Yeah, competition from local players is a good example to discuss here. Suppose Amazon is the leading online retailer in USA. They entered in India and they got the competition from Flipkart, a local e-commerce website. But Amazon has very good strategies to attract people, and Amazon has good deals to help and to sustain their business. And even though Flipkart is very established company in India, initially it gave huge competition, but with different strategies, different plans, Amazon finally overcome those hurdles, and now Amazon also giving good competition to the local player like Flipkart. Let's see what experts are forcing to reshaping the global economy. So the great balancing is obvious as per the experts. If you see, it's very important for the business. 86% of the executives already agreed on that, and we will have a positive effect on profits. 48% of executives agreed on that and is being actively addressed in their company. 72% of executives already agreed on that. So the great rebalancing is needed for reshaping the global economy. Let's recap the Prahlad points on managing emerging customer segments. So his first point is consider the global market as a pyramid of consumer based on the economic strength. As I shown in my first slide or second slide, the pyramid is containing the emerging market customers from the bottom of the pyramid, and the strength is based on the customer base compared to the spending. The new and emerging opportunities in countries such as China, India and Brazil is in the lower income segments. Compared to even Tier 2, Tier 3 and 4 are very dependable on these emerging segments. Serving these markets will dramatically influence the management process in multinationals. Definitely. So to serve these emerging markets, MNCs shall follow strategies which will be different from the strategies applied in the developed countries or developed markets. And he gave the example of 2500 US dollars Tata automobile in India, which was released a couple of years back. That is the car is called as Tata Nano, and it was not a great success, but the people, when you can provide with that 2500, they are not only seeing the price and quality also, so they expect in the lower to medium range price with the quality. So Tata Nano was not a success, but it attract many people how a manufacturing automotive manufacturer can provide a car within that price range. Now, even if you see some Ford cars like Ford Figo in India, you may get for uh, $10,000 like that. So in US, the car starts from $15,000 to $20,000, but still there is a huge difference in marketing and the price of the cars. So I fully agree all these comments with Prahlad's point of view, and I hope my presentation explains in detail about these points. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain about this topic, and I would like to say thank you from emerging markets. Dhanyavad, Shenshen, Obrigado. Thank you again.